Welcome, people of Speed Gaming. This is your boy LV Creed here, bringing you the next round of our Mega Man 2 Randomizer tournament of this 2024 year. With me on side commentary is Frico. How you doing, Frico?
Side commentary. I'm merely your sidekick today, it seems. That's okay.
Yeah, but you're an important sidekick. I wouldn't be hanging around doing this commentary along without you.
Alright, so tonight we've got Zneip versus Satokoaddict. I believe this is a round 2 matchup in the winner's side of the bracket.
Actually, it's round 3. For
Round
this side,
three.
we're getting pretty deep.
Okay, so we're getting it done here. So, round 3. Excuse me, I thought it was merely round 2. That's what I get for not checking the bracket and making sure before I jump in. And trying to remember it just completely off memory.
Yeah, these two boys have been going pretty fast. Zneip being our third place runner of our last tournament, but this time we're gonna have a work cut out for him with satokoaddict96, who is one of our strongest any percent runners of the vanilla game, who has adapted very strongly to the randomizer. So Zneip gonna have his work cut out for him, but at the same time, in the last round, there was a couple of seeds that gave Satoko some problems. So if we get similar kind of situations, Satoko could be finding themselves on the losing side of this matchup.
Well, we're about to find out. It looks like the timers are started, and away we go. It looks like we've got Bubble Man on Satoko's side, and Zneip has Flash Man. So no whammies so far. So fairly doable stages.
Yeah, this is a fairly tame stages. Flashman usually one of the stages we like to find as soon as possible because there's a chance to get an E-Tank, but always going to be dependent on the enemy setup for the randomizer seed. Speaking of which, we find that our Buster is not our wall weakness, so we're going to have to do some weapon digging later on. Meanwhile,
Ooh.
Bubble is a fairly straightforward stage, and you're going to see Satoko in a moment going to be trying to do the pause-ups.
Yeah, Satoko almost got deposited in the abyss. I believe a shot man was there ready to take a snipe at him. But he was through it. Looks like he's zipping through here. So Satoko able to make the first zip as Zneip makes their way through and is about to see the good or bad news as to if they can make it to an E-Tank or not. Looks like it should be fairly clear sailing. Oh, Dollar Store Metroids.
Well, what our sprite says, there actually are Metroids. No cheap stuffs here. But regardless, we got Satoko being our first one going to our boss room. We got to see what's going to be in Bubble Man's room, but Zneip is not going to be too far away seeing who's in Flash Man's room.
We got Airman here, and let's see what we got for Zneip. Metal Man. Okay.
Metal Man looking like a more favorable matchup. Soft Buster Week. Meanwhile, we got a Velcro Airman in Bubble. Once again, using the added augmented height from the water, having a chance of Airman getting stuck into the spikes, making it a fairly tough fight. But Satoko was able to get by very easily, and both our runners were able to find items. I think we found item 1 for Zneip and item 3 for Satoko.
Yeah, that's definitely going to bear fruit going forward as we see Satoko finding the Flashman stage and Zneip in Metal Man. So, 2 E-Tanks to the good for Zneip, which is a pretty good way to get through these here. It looks like a little pause buffer to not deposit themselves in the abyss. Satoko having a little problem with Endless Shrimp Knife.
Meanwhile, they gives the news that item 1 being our only random item, only item with a randomized variant, has no rise at all. It is pretty much static. So one of our major zipping tools is out of the question, which probably could be a benefit for Zneip. Satoko being a very seasoned 80% runner has one less means of having their means to zip, which could or could not benefit Zneip in terms of competition ease.
Zneip having a little problem there. The chicken's giving a little bit of an issue there, not allowing clean transitions over the chasms. So Zneip, a little time. Oh, that's an E-tank too. So. Ooh.
Yeah, these man chickens. Anytime they're probably about over 5 hits of damage, they are pretty annoying to deal with. You definitely want to be around 3 or less so you can move on as quickly as possible. Satoko taking out Metal Man in the Flashman room, while we get some new information in the Metal Man room. Who is going to be our opponent here?
Bubble Man.
Very low spammy bubbles, but also very softly to the buster. This should be a very quick fight, and indeed it was. Zneip getting out of Metal Man stage live. Do we find our final item? No, so right now item...
Yeah,
item 2 is currently MIA. Speaking of MIA, Satoko is going to have a life MIA if he doesn't find a way to get themselves some energy very soon.
Yeah, waiting on these prop tops and just not getting the drop. And Zneip earlier, after popping the E-tank, picked up 2 life ups, the large life ups, and just kind of unfortunate timing on that. Of course, it'll always happen after you pop the E-tank.
Pretty much the law of give and take amongst Mega Man games, at least one of them. And Satoko getting the bad news about the item 1, so that version of Good was not going to be available, but he does have item 3, so I pretty much expect Satoko make an attempt on Goodwood, but we're hoping for a good enemy set on the following screen, but we're about to find that out in a few moments. Meanwhile, Zneip is doing some interesting precarious sky hopping here.
Well, it looks like we got the zip, so, or at least the start of it.
Yeah, looks like Satoko should be fine. There are no potential enemies that could give him a soft lock. If you see on Snape's in the multiple fan feeds, if the fan feeds were on the screen that Satoko was in right now and didn't have a good time stopper, Satoko would be in a soft lock scenario, and that would be extremely hard to recover from.
Yeah, that would end up just tossing 5.5 minutes away, which not easy to come back from, given the situation.
That is a Flashman down on a Snape's in the Airman fight. Woodman, who's our Donkey Kong, pretty much just got eaten up. And there's our item 2. That's all of them.
Alright, so we know where our items are, so no whammies this game, so thankfully we don't have to deal with that. So now it'll be a question of, can Zneip execute the Goodwood zip and get back the theoretical advantage that Satoko has by zipping through, while Satoko getting another advantage here using item 2 and going through the oh, what is this?
The Joe Friendly Skies.
Yeah.
Well, we're about to see if Zneip goes for it. No, doesn't look like
Oh, it doesn't look like it.
So yeah, that's going to be a bit of an advantage on Satoko's and not being... Oh, he doesn't have item 3 to begin with, so he couldn't do it even if he wanted to.
Oh my.
So as a result, that's once again because of how the randomization goes, especially with stage names hidden. Zneip winds up giving some time to Satoko, and giving Satoko's abilities, that's something you really don't want to see.
No, so at this point, Satoku's been able to pull off 2 zips that Zneip has unfortunately, well, I can't really call the item 2 in Airman a zip, but it feels like it. Just kind of bypassing the better part of the first half of the Airman stage. Satoko using some items, trying to hunt for some weaknesses here.
Look like Lee Shield is doing soft weakness damage, getting some of the quickness done. Able to get a couple of 2 hits from the air shooter variant to do the deed, but yeah, finding Lee Shield. Meanwhile, Buster Wheat Donkey Kong was making short work of Woodman. Right now, they really aren't too far behind each other, but we do have some of the longer stages remaining. Satoko going through one of them right now.
Do you think Satoku has a shot at this zip, or gonna give it a go? It looks like lining up for it, so let's see what happens.
First try.
Oh!
And that was extremely lucky. Oh, not so much on that end. Underestimated the frog. So we got Steve going through quick match stage. Obviously going to the side and getting the E-Tank. The man chickens return though, but look like gonna use quick boomerang to quickly dispatch them when the Buster just wasn't gonna cut it.
Now the Buster was 5 shots, and the quick boomerang turning them into one-hitter quitters, so it's definitely the right play.
Satoko starting to crash climb, starting with item 2 to help negate some of the potential weapon gain and loss. Trying to use some efficient energy consumption with the items. Gonna go to the left side. Probably gonna do some item 3 shenanigans in a few moments.
Oh, they're interesting use of item 2 for Zneip, just kind of using it. Gotta go fast. It is a speed run, so makes sense to me. Let's see what we got here. Pikachu, where are you? Oh my.
Yep, our Heatman analog being Pikachu this time, but Metal Blade is doing the job, finding a weakness for a boss that you definitely would like to find a weakness for at any given cost.
Yeah, very true. So, item 2, item 1 for Zneip, about to pick up item 3. I believe that was in Bubble Man stage. So, going into at least Heatman, we're gonna have all the items, so should be fairly smooth sailing. Enemy set aside, and of course, you know, I should just keep my mouth shut, you know, commentator curse and all, but yeah, oh well.
Satoko had a little bit of trouble with the crash, man, almost paying the price, but was able to find Bubble as a weakness to take care of that little issue, and then moving on to Metal Man. Once again, can use item 1 for one of the easiest zips in the world, and that's once again giving a little bit of time to Zneip, especially since Zneip wasn't able to do any kind of zips in Woodman, not having any items to take care of that. So any kind, what are we saying?
Now, what I want to see here is if Satoku's going to get caught by surprise by the chickens, and it looks like he's made it through so far. I believe right here in the platforming in this section, we had the, yeah, oh, here it is. Yeah, all-you-can-eat wings night. And it looks like item 1 to the rescue.
And item 2 to follow suit, as we got Velcro Air incoming for, Time Stopper doing the deed for Airman. For those that aren't familiar with randomizer weaknesses, Time Stopper is weak to one boss and one boss only, and that boss will always be a Robot Master. So find the Time Stopper weakness, which is going to be for Airman this time around. Once again, very good knowledge to find, especially for boss rushes.
Alright, so we got Zneip into Crashman stage. Both have Heatman stage left to go. Quickman and the end of Metal Man here for Satoku. So, a little bit of an... Oh, Satoku, be careful? Alright. And it looks like Zneip going for the zip here, trying to avoid the frogs.
Go for the pause variant. So, Zneip needs to go towards the very end of the wall, fall, and then do an A trigger to jump in and oh, Snape, calm down. You got it. There we go. So Snape doing gonna get to do the crash zip and skip a good chunk of the level, and once again just trying to go stride for stride with Satoko, who's not gonna give up much quarter.
Now Satoko, are they gonna fight? No, just going for item 2. It looks like Zneip found the quick boomerang here. Satoko slowing down a little bit.
Well, Quickman is still a faster stage even in spite of this. So I'm gonna say for right now, Satoko has an advantage. Not necessarily a well-defined lead, but by the time Satoko's done with Quickman stage, we're probably gonna see him in Heatman first and see how far behind Snape is going to be in a little bit.
Yeah, normally it's best to compare with when everybody sees Dr. Wily the first time where we're at, but honestly, we've both got one stage in common with Heatman left, so we'll see where we're at. Let's see who gets to Heatman stage first. A little bit of a benchmark, a checkpoint, if you will.
Satoko's gonna find our Pika Heat. We know that Metal Blaze is our go-to weapon. Unfortunately, Satoko does have it, finds it immediately, and just gonna dispense our Pokemon mascot in relative short order. Gonna be the first to reach the Heatman. Meanwhile, Snape is gonna have themselves a bit of a potential time with the Crash. Crash gave Satoko a little bit of trouble, but does indeed find Bubble.
Ooh.
Well,
okay.
I thought it was.
Alright, so 1506 for Satoko coming into the Heatman stage. So let's see, Zneip 25 seconds behind, roughly?
Not too far behind at all. Gonna be coming in just as Satoko's just starting to deal with these pinwheels to death. Our Pyro Buzz slowing them down just a little bit. But we're going to see how Snape's able to do it. Right now, this is still insanely close, where one major mishap can pretty much just spell the turn of the tide for either runner. Like so. Snape unfortunately taking a little bit of a instant death bath and set himself back just a little bit now. Even further behind with Satoko getting the item 3 zip, what was half a stage is now basically about 2/3 of a stage ahead.
Yeah, you hate to see it when, you know, stuff happens, but for Zneip, it's gonna be a bit of a... He'll probably have to think he's behind at this point, having made the mistake, so to say. So maybe a little more aggressive with the strategy. See an item 3 here, try to zip here, use item 2 to get to the boss. So it's definitely on Satoko to kind of give back the lead more so than anything else, in my opinion.
Satoko taking a death on Quickman, but compared to the death earlier from Snape, that's really not that much of a time loss. But meanwhile, be doing the good old weapon dig. Bubble seemed to be doing the job this time around. And right now, Satoko is gonna be our first person to be in our Wily stages. Of course, do we actually get Wily? The doctor, the bad doctor's in.
Yeah, no Dr. Mario this time. No River City Ransom either. So we've got ourselves a Wily stage now. So I guess, I'll leave you the honors. LV Creed, go for it.
I suppose I shall. So for those that aren't familiar with how we do in the randomizers, we got ourselves a Mecha Dragon that we like to do a little game with. We like for you to guess the color of the dragon palette, the weakness of the dragon, and actually, if you want to, we actually have a randomized sprite for the dragon itself. For those that don't know, here are your options. You got a vanilla dragon sprite, the Tried and True Classic. You also got 2 sets of Sage Dragons, one with some anime shades, think Squirrel Squad or Gurren Lagann. We also got some sweet 80s style shades. We got our Unicorn Dragon, our very lovely Dragicorn. We also have our Oach Dragon and a pure Swag Dragon. So since I am doing the honors, I think I'll go first. And as always, I'm gonna just start because I need to find at some point my true blue dragon with a bust to weakness, and it's gonna be the Oach Dragon.
Oh, you took away the Oach Dragon on me. So I'm gonna go with the Swag Dragon. For me, it's bubble lead until it's not. We all know this. So with those out of the way, I'm gonna go a Yellow Dragon. So the Swag Yellow Dragon, bubble lead the weakness. Satoku, prove me wrong here.
Satoku being our first to attempt to find the dragon. Zneip is actually not too far behind, a few screens behind Satoku, so once again it's still very close between our runners. But right now all odds on Satoku as we get an 80s style Sage Dragon, and that is, I'm gonna say that's close to yellow, kind of a dirty yellow though. That ain't busted weakness.
No, looks like the Metal Blade so far. So we'll see if Zneip's able to find something else, or we're gonna be left hanging until the end to see what the second weakness was.
Yeah, the Mega Dragon has 2 weakness, with a 50-50 shot of Buster being our 3rd weakness. As we saw, Buster was not that weakness, and maybe Zneip already has Metal Blades intact already. Nope, has crashed, but definitely gonna find Metal Blade after. And gonna be following suit with Satoku in relatively short order. So once again, it's still very close between our runners. Not too much by way of mistakes on each other's ends. Probably some issues in Heatman, but not too far from each other at all.
No, this is definitely a close race. Execution at this point, or I hate to say it, maybe possibly a lack of, is definitely going to decide what will happen going forward. You know, if Zneip is able to execute and Satoku gets stuck somewhere and make up some time, that can change the race. Satoku, of course, if they can keep it clean, I don't think they know it. Ooh, suicide drop, getting there. A little bit of a risk, but I like it. So here we are in the Pico Block room.
And we got ourselves a vanilla Picos, so there's gonna be pretty much a no issue fight for Satoku. Sticking with the Metal Blades, but I see the ammo consumption is kind of sketchy. But right now, Satoku's gonna stick with it. Not gonna be doing the weakness dodge with. I think it's pretty smart.
I like it. You're ahead. There's really no point to go, you know, losing time and gambling, in a sense. Now, Zneip may go looking for something. Oh, just Buster. Okay.
Buster being very good for a boss like this. It does not quite have the versatility of the Metal Blade, so some of the higher Picos are not going to be available like here, but you won't have to worry about any kind of weird ammo consumption issues digging for weapons. So ammo conservation from here on forth is a pretty much safe bet, as we got some watermelon waters here in Wally's 3.
Yeah, today's septic sludge for Dr. Wily is sponsored by the watermelon. So, Zneip on his way into Wily 3, and I think he may just drop straight down. Satoku pulling into the pit, so to say. But it looks like, no, testing a wall. Didn't look like it. So that's a little bit of a plus for Zneip. Satoku pulled into the pits, so to say, to pick up an energy drop, where Zneip did not have to.
Well, Satoku's going to be our first to test out the Guts Dozer, where this time a Guts Dozer is going to be sponsored by the Technodrome. The Technodrome being a little bit of a cameo here. finds the crash bombs. Good explosion duration. If Zneip is able to find that kind of weakness, we might not have to. It might be a slightly faster fight for Zneip compared to Satoko, as Satoko kind of matched the fight, but it was still a relatively quick fight regardless on Satoko's end. So Satoko's still not giving way to the lead, but let's see how Zneip does it while Satoko starts Wily 4.
Alright, so let's see what Zneip's got lined up here. I saw them line up an item. No, look like Buster. No, nothing there. Oh, found something.
That is Bubbles. Bubbles being our second Guts Tank weakness, and found it relatively quickly too. So once again, not too much time lost for either runner. As Satoko's, gonna go for the vertical item 3 zip. Kind of got misplaced, so has to redo it. So once again, those little time losses that Zneip needs to try to keep pace while Satoko's still just barely clinging to that lead.
Well, we're into the anxiety rooms, and it looks like... Well, our little dust devils were blowing Satoko in the right direction, so... just take the damage and get out of that room. So far so good for Satoko. This could be a little trickier. Yeah, getting one, no. Can you snipe that third one with the metal blade there?
He doesn't need to, as long as, because the fan fiends always will blow in one direction, and that one way is always blowing to the left. So all he really needed to do was to destroy the one that was at the bottom, and Satoko was fine, but Satoko decided to take it a little safe to destroy the other upper one at the upper left.
Alright, so going into the boss here, neither runner knows the crash weakness at this point. I don't believe. Ooh, gonna... Okay, just take the damage. Boost, okay. Alright, so here's, Oh, we found the crash wall.
It's a two-shot heat. So yeah, our wall weakness is gonna take some time to destroy. So at this point, you really would like to find a god weakness, and it looks like it's gonna be Bubbles, so we're gonna be destroying walls regardless.
Yeah, no way around that one. No trying to snipe with a metal blade. It looks like Zneip lining themselves up. Gonna throw the leaf shield, the metal blade, and get the bad news, so to say.
And I think Zneip is gonna find out even worse, because normally the atomic fire one-shots these walls. These are two-shot. I think Zneip is gonna get a little flustered, wondering why the walls aren't getting destroyed instantly. And that's gonna be some major time loss, not realizing this.
Oh yeah, that's unfortunate on Zneip's part, as Satoko into the refights. So, unfortunate to see this, and it looks like Zneip is trying to bypass the walls and try to find a weapon weakness on... It won't even matter if he can't get around it with the bubble. So you can get 3 of them, but he's got to break the walls down to get the 4th and 5th one. Oh, it looks like he's found it. Charging up the heat shot. There it is.
Yeah, rediscovering and finding the worst possible scenario for heat, being a two-shot wall weakness. Wasted a lot of time, and right now this pretty much gives Satoko a major advantage in widening the lead by a good amount. At this point, you could argue that this is Satoko's race to lose.
Well, 5 Robot Masters in, or was it 6? I didn't see how many lights were still lit up. Let's see. 3 left, so this is number 6. So a 6 Robot Master lead in the refight. So this is going to come down to one of 2 things. A very tricky, wily machine, or the alien just not cooperating and taking a while to find that the weakness to defeat the alien.
Well, Undaunted, Zneip has now basically started their boss rush on the third Robot Master, but once again, Satoku already with a really decent lead, already dealing with the boss rush.
Oh,
Brought in medal for both phases. Oh yeah, this is definitely what you like to see. One and done, and you're out of here. Victory road for Satoku now.
Yeah, absolutely. That's about as good as it's gonna get. So we're gonna drop down into Victory Road, and at this point, I think Satoku's gonna go right and bypass the septic sludge falling from the floor onto the floor. Excuse me, words. Ay ay ay. So I think both runners think they might be behind here, since they both made minor mistakes throughout the run. So you're really hoping that you just don't see the dot done in the chat from the other player. And Zneip is now 2 Robot Masters away, as Satoku's looking for the weakness for this alien to finish things off.
And a very vanilla one at that fact, with a little color dye. Meanwhile, the weapon dig begins. Gonna check first page. Plus the weapons being undaunted, even the vanilla bow's not it. That is quick boomerang. That is a GG in a very insane time. We got ourselves and I think that's our first sub 30 in our tournament, if I do say so myself, as Zneip actually finds Buster as the weakness for the Wily Machine.
Wow.
So very lucky weaknesses for both our runners, but right now the name of the game is that Satoku has won race 1 with official racetime.gg time of 29 minutes and 51 seconds.
Wow. Well, that's setting the bar. That's a pretty good time for Satoku there. Zneip definitely not being trifled with here. This is going to be a 31 something, so still a very respectable time. I can't say, I'd be disappointed with setting that time in any general setting. It's just my opponent in game 1 was better than me. Hats off to him. So good job on Satoku for taking the 1-0 lead as Zneip looks to finish this one out.
Yeah, both our runners, Heatman aside, had really ran a very clean race throughout. It's just right now Satoku's ability is just a smidge better. Even with adapting to whatever the randomizer throws at him, it's just really not stopping Satoku at this current point. Zneip is may need to dig a little deeper, just a smidge deeper, to try to one-up Satoku and try to bring us to a game 3. But for right now, we still got race 2 in the wings, so hopefully you stick by and watch it. We'll be back in a moment as we set up. And we are back. Welcome everyone to the Mega Man 2 Randomizer Tournament for this SGL 2024 season. This is your boy LV Creed here, and alongside me, Frico, my boy, my man. How you doing?
Oh, I guess it's time to unmute the mic and get ready for game two. For those that may be late to the party, Satoku won game one, basically off the back of being able to use the Goodwood zip, where Zneip did not have the requisite items to get that zip done. About a minute and a half between the two, and I think that's a fair representation of how much of an advantage the Goodwood zip provided to Satoku in that run.
Yeah, being one of the things about the randomizer is definitely being lucky on your items, finding them as soon as possible. And Satogo definitely was able to do that, having all three items, especially at least by getting to Woodman stage, so able to have that little extra zipping advantage. But Snape, not being undaunted, still was managing to keep pace of Satoko. So once again, it's all on the randomizer seed to see if things will work in Snake's favor and give Satoko a little bit of problems. Well, Satoko has a little bit of problems on their own, going to the password on accident, giving a little bit of a head start for Snape.
Wow. Just like things went Satoku's way in game one, so far Zneip getting a bit of an early advantage here. Satoku hitting a whammy, as it were, by finding the Crashman stage, should be able to pull this zip off, as we saw in game one. So not as much of a potential disadvantage as possible, but still not a fun stage to go in without any items. Find yourself in the Crashman stage.
Yeah, the fact that this particular zip was found quite some time ago has definitely eased the burden, especially for those that are Buster only runners. So this zip has been a fantastic addition to the, zipping family that Mega Man 2 has been known for. And that Satoko was able to successfully navigate the area, bypasses a lot of Crashman stage, is on their way to doing the crash climb. But as you said, without any items, it's going to be a long climb for Satoko to deal with. Meanwhile, Snape is about to go to their first Robot Master in Bubbleman's room.
Oh, Satoku might see some more Dust Devils here. So this could be a rough day at the office. No Buster there, so Satoku gonna have to damage boost all the way through.
Meanwhile, we got a very jumpy Flashman, not Buster Week, so the fight's gonna take a little bit, but it's such an easy fight that's really not too much of an issue for Snape. So right now, the early advantage does go to Snape, but no items found in Bubble, so kind of a bit unfortunate. Couldn't get an early item advantage, but regardless, one Robot Master down, going to Woodman at now.
Oh, that's kind of unfortunate for Zneip, but once we see the boss here at the end of Crashman stage, we'll see if, unintended luck, Airman should be fairly easy to do, so long as he doesn't get bodied here. Away we go. So if there's an item here for Satoku, major advantage.
Item 1 found, but of course, Item 1 being our only randomized element, depending on movement and duration, it could be a blessing or a curse, but it's still an item, and you can definitely use it to your advantage. So I would still give the advantage to Satoku, but if it's a good Item 1, oh boy, Snape could be in a world of hurt as far as luck's concerned.
Well, it looks like these moles take 10 shots to do away with. This is definitely not smooth sailing for Satoku here. I'd be looking at seeing what I had and hopefully trying to get rid of these moles, but Satoku does persevere and get through it. Zneip, again, this Goodwood zip not available, and we got Dust Devils there to slow him down.
And I think we had some information on Satoko's end. I believe our walls are busted. I did not see a tank. So I'm pretty confident that Buster is the wall weakness. So that's once again, that's easy and early information for Satoko, and I'm pretty sure Snape will find that eventually as well when Snape goes to Flash in relative short order. But for right now, we're gonna see if Satoko's gonna get well, yep, you're gonna get that E-Tank. Will he keep going forward? Confirm my suspicions? Yep,
Well,
Buster's weak.
Yeah, that's free. The Buster Wall right there. Oh, that's about as good as it gets. Don't even have to turn around or nothing. Oh, Zneip's got to put in some work here. This is going to be a perilous little voyage. I think he's done for here. Yeah.
Yeah, this is an extremely bad Woodman. Woodman has a little bit of a randomized scenario. Gonna focus on that fight compared to a very dumb crash Satoko's in. Very free fight. But yeah, this is not a free fight on Woodman. So yeah, the leaves fall up. And whenever the falling leaves disappear, that's when the leaf shield respawns. So this is a situation where you can get more than one leaf shield on the screen at once.
Oh no!
So yeah, you're gonna get a situation that Snape really wish he wasn't in. And unfortunately, Snape is paying the price, even trying to manipulate Woodman by pausing, keeping him in a jumping state.
Well, this is almost at the point where you just kind of gotta, just get bodied and hope you win the war, like we saw Zneip do right there. Just kind of go for it.
Satoko failing the Buster Zip, but Satoko gets some relative good news. The item 1 is fairly decent. The duration, however, is pretty short, so Satoko's gonna have to work this item 1 fairly carefully in order to try to make the best out of these item 1 zips. But yeah, things are looking up for Satoko right now.
Yeah, Zneip didn't even go for the crash zip, so we're gonna see very unfortunate screens for Zneip here. These elevators, the first one, not so bad. The second one, not so bad either. The third one, oh boy.
Well, fortunately, the prop tops aren't so bad. They're one shot, so they shouldn't be all that bad to dispense. But yeah, with the longer track in this particular platform room, you got to make sure that the prop tops are not gonna be in your way at all. Meanwhile, Satoko making use of the metal blade, not a weakness, but the versatility of the blades and the fact that they're at least
going to be troublesome.
Managing to do the newly implemented pause canceling to make sure that Snape was able to stay on the moving platform in spite of taking damage.
So Satoko found another troublesome stage. Airman, not exactly easy to do, especially without the item 2, so we can't take to the friendly skies, but they look a little perilous. We got, what do we got there? We got bird droppings, and we got, I can't remember those prop tops.
Yeah, but actually, I would say this was pretty dang friendly. Once again, prop tops being one shot, the birds kind of just came and went. Very friendly enemy set so far. So this has been a very calm skies currently, and still pretty calm. Even the crushers are one shot. So Satoko really shouldn't be having too much issue in this stage.
Oh, and then we get some frog legs showing up right at the end, just to, twist the knife on you a little bit, but,
I still stand by my assumptions.
Yeah, not the worst place, but, Zneip's gonna take down Airman. Satoku's gonna find... Quick
That's
Man?
quick. Yeah, that's quick. Once again, John... Oh! Yep. So, about weaknesses, there are two sets of weaknesses that does immense damage. We like to call them great weaknesses and ultimate weaknesses. For easy mode, great weaknesses and ultimate weaknesses both 2-shot. There's only a slight difference when they are in a hard mode where the damage kind of increases. But yeah, I think we found one of our very strong weaknesses, that crash bomb on that boss.
Wow. What'd that do? Like 3/4 of the bar in damage with the one hit? That's a pretty big weakness.
It's got to be at least half, regardless.
Satoku getting a bit of an unfortunate set of stages here, but Zneip can't really say they're any better. Both, I believe, finishing the crash stage, and I believe that netted them both item 1.
And Satoko successfully navigating the item 1 variant of that one heat zip. I didn't think, yeah, Satoko gonna need to learn how to do the item 1 variant in the first half of the stage. But then again, I also didn't see what enemies were in the first set of rooms, so it would have been hard to do item 1 zips there anyway. But regardless, Satoko navigating the Yoku blocks, about to go into our boss room for Heatman, while Zneip is taking care of Quickman in Airman's room.
Yeah, Zneip not gaining the information of the weakness, so a little bit of a advantage for Satoku in having the refight advantage, the knowledge.
Well, fortunately, this Heatman was soft Buster week, so it didn't drag on for too long. And item 2 is still MIA, so both our runners missed an opportunity to get item 2 to fly over the Yokus.
Have we seen Quickman stage yet? No, we have not. So, Quickman, Metal Man, I believe, are our item stages.
Once again, Satoko using our very friendly item 1, navigating the metal zip. So yeah, once again, like I said, Satoko pretty much giving all the keys to the kingdom here to do just about any and all zips available with how good item 1 has been in this seed.
Yeah, this is definitely making the most of what you got to work with here, and these metal blades are just destroying. One shot, one kill. Wow.
Yeah, we got our canned chickens, and Satoku's using pretty much our can opener here.
Yeah, quite true on that one. So the Buster Walls making Heatman a little more tolerable for Zneip here. So we'll see what Zneip does when we get into the Yoku blocks here. I don't think much will change, so just gonna have to grin and bear it.
And as anticipated, we found out item 2 in the Metal Man stage, and we have yet found Quickman. So yep, as anticipated, all our items are in Quick and Metal. Quickman holding our item 3.
So Zneip may get a little bit of a lifeline here. I'm fairly certain Satoku will be able to pull it off with item 1, but you never know. The Goodwood Zip seemed to be a problem for Zneip in the first round, and getting that Woodman stage with no items, that's just bad sequencing and nothing you can really do about it with random bosses. So a little bit of bad luck.
Also, it's going for dog scrolls. And like Satoko is a very seasoned Mega Man 2 runner, but looks like kind of felt the dog scroll is gonna go back. Wait, yeah, I forgot. He was still able to scroll onward to the second half of the stage. So yeah, not too much of an issue. But
well, looks like Satoku not doing Goodwood. Okay.
Yeah, he had no lives. I was about to wonder about that. So, yeah, he had no choice.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit there and try to farm for a 1-up just to do Goodwood. End up losing more time than it's worth on that. So, a little bit of an unfortunate circumstance for Satoku, but finally something going right for Zneip here.
So yeah, Satoko having to take the long way around at the top of the treehouse because of lack of lives. That could give Zneip a little bit of a helpful edge if Zneip was able to do Goodwood successfully. But for right now, it's still Satoko with a pretty clear advantage for the time being, as they're about to fight. Well, then again, this Woodman variant is still a rough one.
Now, Zneip was already in the Woodman stage because he had to kind of just ramrod it and just get right in there and just outmash. And it looks like Satoku kind of adopting the same strategy. So, both take care of Woodman. So, we've got Quickman, Metalman, Flashman, which Zneip took down one of them. So, about a stage advantage here for Satoku in all totality.
Probably more than that, because Satoko pretty much won and done this Woodman, using charged heat as a pretty significant deterrent for how ugly that Woodman fight could have been. So that's a lot of time, say, for Satoko compared to Zneip, who had to struggle quite a bit on that Woodman fight.
Yeah, that is true. So, you know, again, in the comparison, it looks like Satoku's just getting the better of every opportunity to compare both runners right now. So, Zneip can definitely do this, but they're going to have to, you know, pardon the parlance here, pull a rabbit out of their hat and try to find something, because Zneip's got a Metalman stage left to go, while both of our runners are going through the Quickman stage.
Yeah, you're gonna need to pray to the randomizer gods at this point that there is just something to keep Satoko walled just for a fraction of a moment. And Satoko's gonna go for the item 1 door crash. I saw item 1. Satoko definitely could do it, but it would have been a very insane risk. Unfortunately, the randomizer, its password situation, not quite the best. We unfortunately do not have the capability of passwording to specific robot masters right now, thanks to not really knowing how the coding with the randomization and so on and so forth. So if Satoko went for a crash, wall crash, that probably would have been race over for Satoko, but wisely didn't go for it, just went straight on, and is our first one to go to the Wily stages, all items in tow, and let's see what kind of Wily variant we're gonna get. 2 times in a row? Nope. That is a Cossack.
Alright, so Dr. Cossack, looks like Wily taking a sick day, and Dr. Cossack subbing in for him as Zneip takes a zip here. So it's going to be on Zneip to close the gap here. It was about 1720 for Satoku to find the best eyebrows in gaming. So, unfortunately, tick-tock goes the clock here for Zneip. And we're going to have to hope Satoku... you know, again, Satoku with a big advantage, and it's, dare I try to call it this early on, that, you know, Satoku with the level of execution that they showed in Game 1. Is it their race to lose at this point?
Satoku trying for the vertical wrap, but the item 1 being a little bit too short to properly execute it. But yeah, once again, it's that any % expertise that Satoko has, being one of our stronger 80% runners, and having the adaptability to take what the randomization deals and throws to their faces, Satoko is just one of those runners that is very, very hard to beat. Very, if I should make a comparison, very Metalo-ish. For those that are familiar with our old randomizer tournaments, Metalo is another runner with kind of similar skill that I'm seeing from Satoko, and has won various randomizer tournaments with that skill and that knowledge. Satoko is probably on that level, so dealing with that, it's just really, really going to be tough for State to try to deal with that, but it's still possible as we pretty much ignored the dragon game, describing it.
So I'm going to go for a blue generic dragon. No charged heat, so nope, not that one. And of course it's probably going to be the bubble lead just to spite me this game, isn't it? Nope, no bubble lead. Alright. Disaster averted.
I'm fairly confident it was charged heat, but charged heat just really wasn't cutting the mustard. Meanwhile, Crash Bombs, especially with a good explosion duration, pretty much just dealt the job very quickly as Satoko starts Wily 2 proper. They being half a stage behind, not too far away, but as you said, the clock is ticking and Satoko is not gonna let that clock go any shorter.
Yeah, Satoku's definitely executing here, so... Oh, there's a bit of an issue. No weapon energy to item 2 across the chasm, so gonna have to farm a little bit, and it looks like whoopsie-doo. So, Zneip with a little bit of a reprieve. If Satoku... I'd almost just deposit myself in the abyss. They're on 0 lives, aren't they? Oh no, they have 2 lives now.
This is I will admit, this is definitely not a scenario I would have expected for Snape to potentially work the comeback. Assuming Snape doesn't die here, he can't take a hit. There we go.
Take a hit, so good to go. Satoku finally able to get that item 2 up and active, so through the initial chasm of Wily 2, but that cost some time. So we're at 21.5, but I'd say about 30 to 45 seconds of that potential lead just flushed down the drain by just picking the wrong item and forgetting, oh, well, I need item 2 energy. Whoops.
Yeah, gotta be wise about your ammo consumption. That is one of the main difficulties of the Wily stages, after all. This is the suicide drop, going 2 for 2 for that, but regardless of the matter, what kind of picos we're gonna have?
Well, I heard the plonk of, nope, not that one either. No lazy leaf. Oh, we found something.
Look like 2-shot bubble. And with relatively decent ammo consumption as well. I think this is the way to go here. But I could also assume that by process of elimination, Crash and Metal are just as feasible here. But yeah, with the 2-shot bubble and the rate of ammo consumption here, I think this is definitely... Oh! Just narrowly dodging death here. Oh, it's Quick Boomerang. Quick Boomerang wasn't tried. At least I didn't see Satoko try it, but Snape working with Quick Boomerang instead.
I think they looked at how many shots it took and just kind of optioned out of it. At this point, you know, you can't really, you know, jump in and take some damage when you have, you know, 4 bars left. but Zneip having a full complement of E-tanks getting in there and finishing the job, so definitely able to close some of the gap there. But Satoku, alright, let's see where we're at the end of Wily 3 here with Satoku compared to Zneip.
Snuggle about to be our first one to go into our guts tank. About to see if it's going to be friendly. It's going to be one of our Buster Week bosses. Otherwise, it's going to be another weapons dive. Well, it's not going to be the guts tank this time. Once again, we got another cameo. This time it's going to be Bowser.
Oh my. Oh, nope, no leave. Let's see what we've got. Quick Boomerang.
No, that's Bubble. Back-to-back Bubble.
Bubble.
This is
Okay.
supposed to go this time around. Let's see if Snape's able to find it to try to close in that gap as much as possible. Or we're going to find another weakness as Satoko goes into green reddish hell. See if this would be our great equalizer here.
Alright, so 2445 is when Satoku gained control in Wily 4. And Zneip, oh wow, that was quick. Found it straight away. Just went right to it and out of there. So... oh, we got a little Ninja Gaiden action going on in the OST section here. I'm with it. Alright.
Yeah, pretty much some design to some thunderstorm action over here. Regardless, Satoko utilized Item 3, hoping to get the clip of the ceiling, full extension. Once again, trying to widen that gap as much as possible, as our Xylem rooms right now looking like rest stops, no enemies at all. Once again, making that clock a little shorter for Snape to try to catch up. Every little advantage Satoko gets just winds up widening the gap further and further.
Alright, so Satoku really just showing us, you know, an almost masterclass on execution here. So, gonna zip through here with item 1. Alright. Just don't over-zip. That would be massively inconvenient. So we know Buster's gonna take down the wall. So, I'd almost just get rid of the walls and just go searching. But that's me. I don't know how you would approach this, Creed. Enlighten us.
Well, I would definitely be going for potential god weaknesses first before thinking about dealing with the walls, so we can bypass them. Oh, Snape is Snape gonna go for the wall crash? Alright, let's see if this can be very helpful if he's able to successfully navigate it. If not, this is gonna be some major time loss if he overzips, because he's gonna need to go through it. And Snape does successfully gets in, but it needs to continue on.
Oh, leap shield.
They found it a little sooner. Probably gonna catch up a little bit of that time back. Had to destroy less walls. And right now, you can say that Snape can still take this. If things get better, Satoku's probably going to be about 1 or 2 robot masters ahead of Snape. So right now, things are actually extremely close between our runners right now.
Now, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but I think Satoku has the advantage of knowing one of the god weaknesses. So, especially when time's a factor here, that'll help in at least one boss fight where Zneip is going to have to do it the long way, so to say. But Woodman just being a pain in the behind here. Satoku looking for weaknesses where I think he should just get it out of there.
not one of the better weaknesses, especially for this kind of Woodman. That was some leap-on-leap violence required for a fast fight for Woodman. That fight took quite a bit of time, and right now I say it's pretty much dead even between our runners. For those that are clockwise versus counterclockwise betters, you're pretty much hoping that clockwise is going to be your way to go for a game 3, because that's what's going to be needed for Zneip to overcome what might be a very even matchup between our two runners here.
Well, Zneip's on the 5th Robot Master right now, and Satoku just joined him. So out of all of that, Zneip got back in, and it looks to be in the lead right now. So just starting their Robot Masters maybe seconds apart, but
it's still going to depend on that Woodman. That Woodman is going to give Zneip some trouble. If he can't get by that Woodman in short order, then Satoko is going to regain that advantage.
I think he's just going to ramrod through it and say, all right, I've got 3 E-Tanks, just get me out of here. No, he is going to go looking. So, nope, not Time Stopper. So, yeah, just bodied by Woodman and just, you know, all right, pop an E-Tank, here you go. Yeah. Wow, this is as close as it gets. We're looking at a second, 2 seconds apart right now, with Satoku technically getting back in the lead. Definitely first to the Wily machine, but Zneip is right on his heels right now.
And we also got to consider the fact that we could be in virtual tie situation as well. Once again, the rules of our tournament, if we get about 3 seconds of leeway between our runners, we have a tie scenario, and our runners may have to redo an extra race. So we are within that gap.
Yeah, we are definitely within the margin of error here as Satoku drops down into Victory Road, and he's going to the right. So Zneip's gonna have to match this by going down to the right, and it'll come down to, you know, what happens here. Satoku going for a zip, able to pull it off, okay. So Zneip a little bit behind right now, just hoofing it and choosing not to zip. So Satoku having a little bit of an advantage here, being able to hunt a little bit.
It's not page 1. It's gonna be close. It's gonna be. Oh, is Zneip on page 2 as well?
I didn't see.
He's on page 2. He's gonna potentially be behind. The zip and the unfortunate pace risk may be risky. I think it's still beyond the margin of error. It was so close for Zneip, but unfortunately, this is
wow.
This was so close.
Yes, it was. It literally came down to the wire. With 5 Robot Masters left, Zneip got back into the lead, and Satoku just said, no thank you. I am, you know, the master of my universe, and I'm going to get it done. So Satoku just getting it done.
Official times 31 minutes and 46 seconds for Satoko. Not too far behind. Zneip finishing with 32:02. Around 20 seconds between our two runners.
Yeah, 16 seconds. Yeah, that's the margin we had there, was 16 seconds for that second match. So that was literally the difference between potentially getting a round 4 little bonus overtime action here with that race. And I believe Satoku has joined us in the chat, so take it away.
That was something.
That was definitely a second race. That was tight. Wow. I know you don't know how close it was, but for the viewers and us commentating, it came down to the wire.
I pretty much panicked in Wily 2 there. Because I refilled the wrong item.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
I didn't have enough to cross.
Yeah, that definitely was one of the situations where you gave quite a bit of time back to Zneip. At that point, it was getting closer and closer as y'all were pretty much going stride for stride by refights.
Dang. I'm very happy about the first race though, that was pretty lucky.
Well, when everything goes your way, like it felt like it was going in that first race, you know, hey, you capitalized on it. You got the W. That's what matters. It's, you know, you executed when it mattered. So good on you. Hopefully, in further matches later on in the tournament, you're able to, you know, when you get the ball like that, run with it. Absolutely.
It's easy to get very cocky as well when you have that kind of a lead, and you might be playing a little bit too risky. So it can definitely still turn around. Like it was very easy for me to just make one mistake and lose like a minute, such as over zipping or anything can go wrong really.
Yeah, you took quite a number of risks, especially since you had such a good item 1 for C2. You could argue that was one of the things that probably made the difference in between you and Zneip for round 2, because like I said, Zneip was really on your heels. And speaking of, welcome to Zneip with coming into the Discord room. Very well done race. Just barely couldn't eke out the race 2 to get a third one going.
Yeah, that was close.
Yeah, I thought you were
gamble.
I thought the second race was all yours after that Whitey 2 mistake.
Damn, that woodman killed me twice, I believe, in the robot phase.
Yeah, he was tough.
Yeah, that's the kind of woodman that I would be afraid of. Because once again, for those that aren't familiar with kind of like the randomized AI for bosses in turns for Woodman regains his shield whenever the leaves disappear. So when the leaves fall up and you get a slow moving leaf shield going across the screen, you get a lot of leaf shields on the screen, and that makes trying to get into Woodman insanely rough. Yeah, Zneip, you really got the worst of that one, at least in the 8 rowboats, while Satoko, you got it bad in the refights.
Yeah, that fight was so weird.
I tried the tech, the pause tech in the 8 robo phase. It worked a bit, but then he got me in the last hit or something.
So at this point, I would kind of like to ask at this point going forward. Well, let's see, Satoko. At this point, you're gonna be a little bit, but you're in winners semis, so you're already pretty much in pretty good shape, waiting for the match between Treble Star and Charlie Boy. Meanwhile, Zneip, you should be sent to losers round 4 actually, so you're gonna have a little bit of time waiting for quite a couple of matches before your next race is gonna be set. I guess the next obvious question is, what's y'all mindset for the upcoming matches moving forward?
Just give it on.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll keep saying what I've been saying before. Just don't die, and you should be fine.
Yeah.
As if it were just so easy to do. Just don't die. Yeah, expert advice from one of our runners here. Want to get into Mega Man Randomizer? Just don't die. Tip number 1: don't die.
Also manage your ammo.
Yeah.
I guess before we move on, are there any other things to note that probably caught your eye, or any final words before we begin to wrap things up?
I think I'm all good.
Don't think I got anything to add. Only thanks to everyone behind the sprites and music and everything. It's been amazing this year.
Rico, you have anything else to add before we move on?
I know nothing. Oh wait, no, this isn't Zelda 2. Wait.
Yeah, kind of bit of a wrong game expertise right now. But anyway, once again, thanks for everyone for sticking by and watching these very fine runners race. It might have been 2-0, but it definitely could have swung any other way. Both our runners did fantastic. Thank you, Zneip and satokoaddict96 for a very well fought race. But of course, we do have more incoming. Even tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight, we got our second quarterfinal match between Treble Star and Charlie Boy. The winner of this will be going against Satoko immediately after. So this is going to be a very big match to watch. A couple of days later, on Wednesday the 28th at 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight, we got Blue Bomber and Sinister in some loser match action. And Saturday, August 31st, we got Chrissy and Siberian Bull 9 in some losers match action as well. So we got a few more races to go with more incoming as the tournament progresses. Once again, this is your boy LV Creed here. Thank you, Speedgaming. Thank you, everyone behind the randomizer. You know who you are. So, and of course, on the side, Frico, if you want to finish us and close us out.
Alright, so to recap everything, I think you did a pretty good job there. Satoku took it 2-0 over Zneip, and at this point I think we are ready to just shut it down and call it a night. Good night, everybody.
Take care.
Thanks for having us.
GG's.